Hello everybody, this is Hunter, and I'm not going to keep you in suspense. The topic of today's video is harmony and how it's so important to us autistic people. It's like we're wired for harmony and we are seeking it out constantly. Now I got the idea for this video from Kyle from the channel Auditing with Autism. Now, if you're going to watch Kyle, you better put your thinking cap on. You know, he talks about some pretty deep subjects, and anyway, it's a good thing. And he talks about things like philosophy, and he'll pull out a book from his library on quantum physics. And the same day that I watched that video, I pulled out a book that kind of has something to do with quantum physics. It's the complete Three Stooges, because if you've ever watched one of their pie fights, I mean, you can really get into the physics of the trajectory and the force of those custard pies as they fly across the room. You know, that lemon meringue and you know, people talk about epic, you know, screen battles. They're like, oh, Braveheart. You know, no. Three Stooges pie fight. I mean, if you want to talk about sheer cinematic beauty and combat skills.
Geez, dude, we don't have time for this jive. You should be watching more sophisticated programming, Bubba.
You know, Nigel, you kind of ruined my flow there. And well, you know what? Speaking of flow.
That's right. Scooter booter.
And I don't mean flow from the game show.
Wow.
F-L-O-W, flow. It's such an important thing, and I'll be talking about that some too. But anyway, back to Kyle. He was talking about a passage from the book Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. And this passage, you know, Kyle was talking about harmony and the harmony of things and the harmony in so many things in this universe. And it got me to thinking about harmony and the concept of harmony, and I started thinking about what things and have I noticed that have harmony, and I started thinking about things that are harmonic, and I started thinking these are things that are really important to me, and I started just scribbling down a bunch of a long list of things that have to do with harmony that are important to me. And I thought, you know what, I'm autistic, and my autistic friends out there are so much like me, and I'm so much like them, that I bet they'll be able to relate to a lot of these things. So I'm going to talk about how harmony is important to me, and let's see if you can relate. You know, the concept of flow, you've probably heard of that, where that's when everything seems to be going just right. You know, everything is smooth, everything is good, you're feeling good, you're feeling creative, you're feeling capable, you're feeling comfortable, and that's basically a good description of harmony. Flow is great. When we're in that flow state, we get into that when we hyperfocus, particularly when we hyperfocus on a special interest or something that we enjoy. But even when we're focusing on any task, you know, we hyperfocus. And hyperfocus is harmonious because there's no interruptions, no transitions, nothing sudden. It just keeps going and going smoothly. We like patterns. Patterns to me are harmonious. That's why they are patterns. If they weren't harmonious, they really wouldn't be a pattern. Now there's some patterns that are a lot nicer than others. There's a lot of patterns in music. You see the piano behind me. A piano keyboard is nothing but one giant pattern. I mean, it looks huge, but it's really just several octaves of the same notes over and over again. So it's a bunch of repeated patterns on the keyboard, and music itself is patterns. We struggle with interruptions, and that's because interruptions are very inharmonious. They just they ruin flow, and they ruin your mindset, and they make you have to shift gears and start all over again on where you left off. And so the way we hyperfocus and the way we like flow is a way that harmony is important to us. Another way is that we struggle with interruptions because they are not harmonious. They're a stoppage to whatever action we were doing, and it disrupts our brain patterns, our thoughts, and our activity, and we have to spend a lot of energy trying to get back to where we were before the interruption. So that's definitely disharmonious. We are not a big fan of transitions, especially sudden transitions, but transitions of any kind, because they're just like, to me, they're very similar to interruptions. We all struggle with the holidays, autistic people. I certainly do. Here in the United States, we have what's called holiday season, and it starts sort of around with Halloween in October, and then you got Thanksgiving in November, then you got Christmas in December, then you got New Year's in January, and this is all at once like that. And it's very different that time of year than the rest of the year, and it's a big adjustment, and it just doesn't feel harmonious, and I think that's why we struggle with it. We struggle with intensity, like intense emotions, negative emotions. If it's a good emotion and it's intense, like intense joy, intense happiness, intense love, or whatever, that's nice. But even that can be a little overwhelming, and we have to spend some time processing it sometimes. But if it's negative emotions, that's really overwhelming and hard for us. We have strong empathy. I have very strong empathy, and if somebody's happy, I love it. If somebody's unhappy, I can't stand it. And I feel really bad for them. And I just want them to feel better. And because, again, that's disharmony to them, that they're not feeling good. And again, that's another way I think that harmony is important to us. We want people to feel better, and we feel bad for them when they feel bad. Intense sensory input is very unpleasant. Again, that's another way that harmony is a big thing with us. Sometimes loud noises can be okay if you're expecting them, or let's put it this way, like if you're at a concert, or if you're at if I'm attending a race or something like that, and I'm okay with that. And sometimes I even like my own music kind of loud if I'm in the right mood. But otherwise, I don't like loud noises, and I certainly don't like abrupt noises, and noises that are interfering with something, like I'm trying to listen to something else or focus on something else. And again, that's because it's disharmonious, and we autistic people really crave harmony. I like lining things up and straightening things up and sorting things. And to me, again, that's another harmonious thing, something that's related to harmony. When I was a kid, I used to love sorting my comic books and sorting out my baseball cards and my football cards and basketball cards, and now, like, if I see a picture that's crooked on the wall, I want to go and straighten it up. And if I see something that's just a little crooked on the coffee table or something, I want to go up and straighten it up. And I wouldn't be diagnosed with OCD because I don't lose sleep over this stuff, but still, it's a big thing for me. And I think that has to do with harmony. When things are lined up and they're straight, that's harmonious. We like structure and routine. Again, harmony is structure. It's a nice, pleasant structure. And routine is harmonious because it allows us to just flow and not have to change our thinking. We also appreciate beauty. Again, beauty is harmonious, and harmony is beauty. But we appreciate beautiful art, beautiful music, and nature. Nature is basically the epitome of beauty, and I think we appreciate it much more than the average person. Rules. We like to follow the rules, and if they make sense. And like driving, the traffic rules, they make sense to me. So when people don't follow them, I don't understand why they don't. And but if rules don't make sense, that's a big deal. We don't like that because it's very important to us. This is another concept that's related to harmony. It's very important to us that things make sense, that rules make sense, that life makes sense, that anything makes sense. And if it doesn't, it's really hard for us. And it's hard for us to handle and to wrap our minds around things that just don't make sense. It's hard for us to just move on and not be bothered by it. We generally don't like drama. I know I don't like it. And I don't think there's too many people out there who are just autistic and who are drama kings or drama queens. And we're not really so much into conflict and competition. To me, competition is conflict. It's not harmony. It's working against each other. And conflict. If you don't like conflict, it doesn't mean that you're weak. It means that you're smart, because conflict is dumb. I think it's pardon me for being frank, but I think it's a stupid use of energy when you could be using it for the things that you enjoy and things that benefit others and that benefit yourself. And a fact of life for most of us autistic people is that we had to deal with being bullied when we were children, growing up, or teenagers sometimes. And I'm Generation X. That was just a fact of life, bullying and getting into fights, And I was an easy target, because I was a loner and I was quiet and I was different. And I moved around a lot, so I was usually the new kid in school, And so I had to learn to, to fight back and to stand up for myself. And I did it very well. And, cracked a couple of skulls, but I didn't, savor that. I didn't enjoy it. And it was kind of exhausting, And there was one point in my life when I was in my early 20s, I decided, made a conscious decision that I wasn't going to take any crap off of anyone. And so for a couple of years, that was my mantra. I'm not going to take any crap. And I didn't, but I paid a big price because it was exhausting. It was really very tiring to be like that. And also, you end up hurting people that sometimes that don't deserve it, because your radar is so sensitive, that you misinterpret things. And what I want to say too is, if you don't like conflict, or if you avoid it, you're not weak, you're smart, because conflict is dumb. And if you are somebody who, when you were bullied, when you were growing up or something, and you didn't push back so much, you just ran away or whatever, there's no shame. There's no shame, because there's so many more important things in life than proving yourself and all that, Again, I did fight, and I could do it and all that, but I didn't enjoy it. Anything that goes against harmony, even in the least bit, is very, very hard for us. Much more so than the average person. And we find intense joy in things that are harmonious. Again, much, much more than the average person. And the things that I talk about here, we experience them on a much higher level than the average person. Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't like drama, that don't like loud noises maybe, and some of those other things that I've mentioned, but we have an intensely hard time with those things, almost debilitating at times, much, much more than the average person. And the things that we do like that are harmonious, we really, really, really like them, and they're very important to us. And if they get disrupted, it's very disabling to us, much, much more than the average person. Well, speaking of harmony, let's get back to a more pleasant subject. There's a new video out by the sensational sultaness of sound, that supersonic songstress, Her Melodic Majesty, Her Harmonious Highness, the sensational Sienna Price. Sienna has a new video, or a new song that she's done. It's called The Crazy Wind. And it's about, she was picturing the wind, or in her mind, thinking about the wind when she created this beautiful song. And it is beautiful. The chord progressions and the patterns and the harmonies in it are really amazing. So I recommend that you watch and listen to it, and I'll provide a link for it. And I'll also provide a link for Kyle's video as well. And speaking of Kyle and Sienna, friendships are another harmonious thing, and I am so thankful for all of you, my friends, and I really appreciate you being here. And I always enjoy talking with you. It's kind of hard for me. I'm not really a natural talker, and I've already practiced this thing a million times, and I'm still kind of, a little clumsy here. But I really appreciate you being here, and I enjoy being with you and talking with you. And I hope you have a wonderful, harmonious week, and I'll talk to you again real soon.